2 MVPs,
looking to the end zone for the win. He caught it. Ball game.
3 Super Bowls,
Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
the ability to make throws no other quarterback in the NFL is capable of. Patrick Mahomes is without a doubt the best quarterback in the NFL right now. However, is he the greatest of all time? In order to understand, we need to go back to where it all began. Patrick LaVon Mahomes II was born on September 17, 1995 in Tyler, Texas. For Mahomes, sports were in his blood. His father was a Major League Baseball pitcher who had spent 11 seasons in the big leagues. Growing up with a father who's a professional athlete, Mahomes was introduced to the world of sports at a very young age, and it wasn't long before his own natural abilities began to emerge. Baseball was in many ways his first love. He was frequently around his father's teammates, absorbing their routines and discipline, most notably Yankees legends Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter. Mahomes said, "I loved being in the locker room, at the field, so I would go there every day." And this shaped who we become in the future. Watching them putting in that extra work that people don't see, so when I am here now, I can never be satisfied with where I'm at. As a child, Mahomes is a multi-sport athlete. He excelled not only in football, but in basketball and baseball as well. He was a standout in all three from a young age, and it soon became clear that whatever path Mahomes chose, he would be able to compete at an elite level. Initially, however, football wasn't Mahomes' primary focus. Baseball still held a dominant place in his life. As a high school pitcher, he regularly threw fastballs that exceeded 90 miles per hour, drawing significant interest from MLB scouts. For much of his early high school career, it seemed his future lay in professional baseball. However, he was also thriving on the football field during this time. When watching him play, many describe that he threw like a baseball player playing football. During his junior year, he passed for over 3,800 yards and 46 touchdowns while also rushing for 15 touchdowns. His senior year was even more impressive. He threw for 4,619 yards, 50 touchdowns, and added another 15 on the ground. Yet despite his success on the football field, he was only rated as a 3-star recruit and was ranked as the 30th best quarterback in his class, and baseball was still a major part of his identity. Mahomes received offers from 3 schools: Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Rice. One school stood out to him: Texas Tech. Head coach Cliff Kingsbury had mapped out exactly how Mahomes would be able to play both football and baseball at the school. But after his senior year of high school, he was drafted by the Detroit Tigers in the 37th round of the 2014 MLB draft. The opportunity to follow his father's footsteps and pursue a career in professional baseball was now a very real possibility. After much consideration, Mahomes chose to fulfill his commitment to Texas Tech, turning down the opportunity to play professional baseball for now. His intent was to play football and baseball for 3 years before pursuing a career in professional baseball, but this decision would ultimately change the course of NFL history. In 2014, Mahomes arrived at Texas Tech University as a talented but raw freshman eager to prove himself.
Start out in Lubbock, Texas. The reason why, well, there's this kid named Patrick Mahomes II, and he's making the Texas Tech head coaches there turn their heads.
However, he wasn't expected to play right away. Davis Webb, the starting quarterback at the time, was entrenched as the team's leader. As a result, Mahomes spent the early part of his freshman year learning from the sidelines, soaking in the new system, and adjusting the speed of college football. Despite the demands of juggling both sports, Mahomes made his college football debut against Oklahoma State. He completed 2 of 5 passes for 20 yards with a touchdown and an interception. And for much of the season, Mahomes remained a backup, patiently waiting for his opportunity. That opportunity would come sooner than later.
And Webb needs help getting up.
Webb's injury thrust Mahomes into the starting role for the final 4 games of the season.
Mahomes in his first start's got to take care of the football.
His first career start came against Texas. Mahomes completed 13 of 21 passes for 109 yards before leaving the game with an injury. In the following weeks, Mahomes began to settle into his role as the starting quarterback. This was the beginning of Mahomes' emergence as a playmaker capable of changing the course of a game. He capped off his freshman season with one of the most memorable performances of his young career. In the final game of the season against Baylor, Mahomes went toe-to-toe with a high-powered offense. Despite Texas Tech ultimately losing the game 48-46, Mahomes lit up the scoreboard, throwing for 598 yards and 6 touchdowns. This performance marked Mahomes as a rising star in college football, and it solidified his place as Texas Tech's starting quarterback heading into the next season. Or so we thought. With a full offseason to prepare as the starter, the stage was set for Mahomes to take his game to the next level. But as Mahomes embarked on his sophomore year, he was still juggling 2 sports. The Texas Tech baseball and football programs had spent time ensuring that there would be no overlap in the schedule so Mahomes could continue to play both. But an unexpected snowfall in Lubbock, Texas would throw all the planning out the door. There was now overlap in the schedule. For the first time in his college career, Mahomes is going to have to make a choice between football and baseball. The decision was one that not even he expected. Cliff Kingsbury had made the point that a quarterback battle would be held in order to determine the starter for the 2015 season. He decided to skip baseball games in favor of attending spring practice and win the starting job. Mahomes was named the starter entering the 2015 season, and he picked up right where he left off. Against Sam Houston State, he delivered a masterful performance, throwing for 425 yards and 4 touchdowns while also rushing for 48 yards and another score. As the season progressed, Mahomes continued to put up staggering numbers. Week after week, he led the Red Raiders in high-scoring shootouts. His deep ball accuracy and quick release became defining traits.
Fires it deep, and it's caught, and it's a touchdown.
And he quickly established himself as one of the most exciting quarterbacks in college football. One of his standout performances came against TCU in what became one of the most thrilling games of the year. Mahomes threw for 392 yards with 2 touchdowns, nearly leading Texas Tech to an upset victory over the nationally ranked Horned Frogs. Although the Red Raiders ultimately lost 55-52 in a heartbreak, Mahomes' performance was electric. By the end of the 2015 season, Mahomes had racked up 4,653 passing yards, 36 touchdown passes, and 15 interceptions. He also rushed for 456 yards and 10 touchdowns. His passing yards ranked him 4th in the nation, and he finished the season ranked among the top quarterbacks in almost every statistical category. Despite the individual success Mahomes enjoyed, Texas Tech struggled defensively throughout the season, leading to several high-scoring losses. They finished with a 7-6 record, including a loss to LSU in the Texas Bowl, where Mahomes threw for 370 yards and 4 touchdowns. As his football career continued to skyrocket, Mahomes made the difficult choice to step away from baseball and focus exclusively on football for the 2016 season. He recognized that football was his true passion, and he believed his future lay in becoming one of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
Into the end zone for the touchdown.
This season would not only solidify his place as one of the best quarterbacks in college football, but also draw the attention of NFL scouts. Mahomes kicked off the 2016 season in a spectacular fashion. He delivered a dominant performance, throwing for 483 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for another 2, leading the Red Raiders to a 69-17 victory. Throughout the season, Mahomes continued to put up numbers week after week, often carrying Texas Tech's offense on his back.
Patrick Mahomes.
One of the defining moments of his entire college career came in a legendary showdown against Oklahoma that would go down in college football history.
This game is
The game was a shootout of epic proportions between another NFL quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Mayfield to throw deep again. End zone. Basquat on 2nd and 25. Over the top for the score. On his back foot this time. QT's all around. It's a Texas Tech touchdown.
Mahomes set an FBS record for total offense with an insane 819 total yards, with 5 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. Despite Texas Tech's 66-59 loss, this game became a testament to Mahomes' ability to dominate against even the toughest competition, and it was the moment that put him firmly on the radar of NFL scouts. By the end of his junior year, Mahomes racked up an astonishing 5,052 passing yards, leading the nation in that category. He also threw for 41 touchdowns while completing 65.7% of his passes and added 12 rushing touchdowns. His 53 total touchdowns ranked him among the best in the country. Despite his individual brilliance, Texas Tech's defense struggled throughout the season once again, and they finished with a 5-7 record, missing out on a bowl game. But while the team's record did not reflect Mahomes' dominance, there was no doubt that he was one of the most talented players in college football. Following the conclusion of the 2016 season, Mahomes made the decision to declare for the 2017 NFL Draft.
With that being said, I would like to announce I will forego my senior season and declare for the 2017 NFL Draft. After talking with Coach Kingsbury and my family, we feel like this is the best decision for me and my family, and this will be the best for my future going forward.
In the draft, Mahomes is considered by many to be a raw prospect with a high ceiling. The draft featured several highly touted quarterbacks, Mitchell Trubisky from North Carolina and Deshaun Watson. Trubisky was by many considered the safest pick, where Deshaun Watson was fresh off leading Clemson to a national championship. Many analysts saw Mahomes as a developmental prospect who would need time to adjust to the NFL. Teams were intrigued by his playmaking ability, but there were still concerns about his tendency to rely on off-script plays. However, there was one team that saw beyond the risks, the Kansas City Chiefs. Future Chiefs GM Brett Veach had been lobbying for Mahomes since he was a freshman at Texas Tech, stating that he was the greatest player he had ever seen, and believed with the right coaching he could become a star in the NFL. With a bold move, Kansas City traded up to the 10th overall pick, sending a package of picks to the Buffalo Bills and selected Mahomes. It was a surprise to some as Mahomes is the second quarterback taken in the draft behind Mitch Trubisky, who went second overall to the Chicago Bears. The decision to draft Mahomes was met with mixed reactions.
So Patrick Mahomes, I don't like it. I do not like this pick. And like I said before, projects. Quarterbacks is the only one they'll take a project, they'll sit him and wait. Oh, he's 2 years away. 2 years away and you paid him $5-6 million a year for 2 years away?
But for Kansas City, the plan was clear. They had drafted Mahomes to be the quarterback of the future, and they had the luxury of allowing Mahomes time to develop. The Chiefs already had an established starting quarterback in Alex Smith, a seasoned veteran who had led the team to multiple playoff appearances. Mahomes had found himself in one of the most ideal situations for a young quarterback. He was given the chance to develop and had a veteran quarterback in Alex Smith who was willing to share his knowledge with him. Behind the scenes, Mahomes is honing his craft, working closely with Reed and quarterbacks coach Matt Nagy, who helped him refine his mechanics and improve his decision-making. The Chiefs coaching staff knew that they had something special, but they were not in a rush to push him into action before he was ready. Throughout the regular season, the Chiefs are enjoying another successful campaign with Smith leading the team. As the regular season wound down, the Chiefs had already secured their spot in the postseason. Reed saw an opportunity to give Mahomes his first taste of NFL action. His first career start in Week 17 against the Denver Broncos was highly anticipated. It gave the NFL a glimpse of the future whether they knew it or not. Mahomes completed 22 of 35 passes for 284 yards, leading the Chiefs to a 27-24 victory. While his rookie season was limited to just one start, the impact of the game resonated throughout the organization. With a wild card loss and Alex Smith's contract set to expire, Kansas City made the decision to trade Smith to the Washington football team in the offseason, officially ushering in the Mahomes era. What followed was nothing short of historic. Mahomes' first full season as a starter would go down as one of the greatest debut seasons in NFL history. The expectations were high, but Mahomes wasted no time in proving that he was more than ready to take on the role of a starting quarterback. In Week 1, he set the tone for what would be a jaw-dropping season. Facing the Los Angeles Chargers, Mahomes threw for 256 yards and 4 touchdowns, leading the Chiefs to a dominant 38-28 victory. In Week 2, Mahomes put on a clinic against the Pittsburgh Steelers, throwing for 326 yards and 6 touchdowns, becoming the first quarterback in NFL history to throw 10 touchdowns in the first 2 games of a season. Fans and analysts alike were in awe of Mahomes' unique skill set.
Is everyone overreacting to Mahomes?
Not at all.
And so, Dan, let's just talk about Patrick Mahomes. It is
It is impossible to describe in words what this kid can do.
I get so freaking excited talking about him. He's the most exciting player to come in the NFL since Michael Vick.
As the season progressed, it was clear that Mahomes wasn't just a flash in the pan. He was transforming the quarterback position. His arm strength and mobility allowed Andy Reid's offense to reach new heights, creating explosive plays that left defenses helpless. Paired with playmakers like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Kareem Hunt, Mahomes led the Chiefs to one of the most prolific offenses in NFL history. Mahomes' signature moment came in Week 11 in what would become one of the most memorable regular season games in NFL history, a primetime Monday Night Football matchup with the Los Angeles Rams.
He's got him for the touchdown. Does he ever? He's going to run it straight in. Mahomes winds it up wide open as Hill. How quick was that?
Despite the loss, Mahomes threw for 478 yards and 6 touchdowns, continuing to show his ability to thrive in high-pressure situations. By the end of the regular season, Mahomes had put up historic numbers. He threw for 5,097 yards, becoming only the second quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in a single season. His 50-touchdown season tied him for the second most in a season, behind only Peyton Manning's 55 in 2013. At just 23 years old, Mahomes had become a superstar, and the Chiefs finished the season with a 12-4 record, securing the top seed in the AFC. For his efforts, Mahomes was named to the Pro Bowl, earned a spot on the first-team All-Pro list, and won the NFL's MVP award. But his MVP campaign was about more than just individual accolades. He had led the Chiefs to the playoffs, and Kansas City was now considered one of the favorites to reach the Super Bowl. In the divisional round, Mahomes delivered a commanding performance against the Indianapolis Colts, throwing for 278 yards and rushing for a touchdown in a 31-13 victory. The win sent the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game, where he would face the New England Patriots, led by Tom Brady, who is widely considered the greatest quarterback to ever play.
The chant is underway.
The AFC Championship game was a clash of generations. Brady, the seasoned veteran with 5 Super Bowl rings, and Mahomes, the young superstar who had taken the league by storm. In a thrilling back-and-forth battle, Mahomes nearly led the Chiefs to victory, throwing for 295 yards and 3 touchdowns. Despite his best efforts, the Chiefs fell short, losing 37-31 in overtime.
Hello, Super Bowl. New England is heading back again for the 3rd straight year.
It was a heartbreaking defeat, but Mahomes' performance in the game only reinforced his status as the future of the league. But now the question was whether Mahomes could take the next step and lead the Kansas City Chiefs to a championship, starting the 2019 season with a bang. In Week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, he threw for 378 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading the Chiefs to a 40-26 victory. Quickly reminding everyone that his MVP season was no fluke and he had only grown more confident. But adversity soon struck. In Week 7 against the Denver Broncos, Mahomes suffered a dislocated kneecap while attempting a QB sneak. The injury sent shockwaves through the NFL, and there were immediate concerns about the severity of the injury. Fortunately for Mahomes and the Chiefs, it was determined that he had avoided any significant ligament damage, and Mahomes was sidelined for just the next 2 games. He returned in Week 10 against the Tennessee Titans, and it was clear he hadn't lost a step. He threw for 446 yards and 3 touchdowns, though the Chiefs ultimately lost a close game 35-32. With Mahomes back under center, the Chiefs closed out the regular season with 6 consecutive victories, finishing with the 12-4 record and securing the 2nd seed in the AFC. In the divisional round against the Houston Texans, the Chiefs found themselves in a seemingly insurmountable 24-0 hole early in the 2nd quarter. But Mahomes in a stunning comeback led the Chiefs on a scoring rampage.
That's caught on the run for the touchdown. Damian Williams holding it. He's going to try to hold it, throws it late. It's caught, touchdown! The Chiefs take the lead.
By the end of the game, Mahomes had thrown for 321 yards and 5 touchdowns, and the Chiefs won 51-31, advancing to the AFC Championship game once again. This time their opponent was the Tennessee Titans, a team that had upset both the New England Patriots and Baltimore Ravens to reach this point. The Titans' bruising run game led by Derrick Henry posed a significant challenge, but Mahomes and the Chiefs were undeterred. After a slow start, Mahomes took over. Late in the first half with the Chiefs trailing, Mahomes delivered one of the most iconic plays of his career, a 27-yard touchdown run where he evaded multiple defenders and tight-roped the sideline before diving into the end zone. This play gave the Chiefs the lead and they never looked back. Mahomes finished the game with 3 total touchdowns and the Chiefs won 35-24, securing their first Super Bowl appearance in 50 years. Super Bowl 54 was a matchup between the Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers boasted one of the league's best defenses, and their offense was powered by a dominant running game. The game was a hard-fought battle, and for much of the contest, it appeared that the 49ers defense had the upper hand. With just over 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs trailed 20-10, and Mahomes had already thrown 2 interceptions. But once again, Mahomes' resilience and poise under pressure came to the forefront. On a crucial 3rd and 15 play, Mahomes launched a 44-yard pass to Tyreek Hill.
Launches down the middle, Hill, open, caught.
The completion sparked the Chiefs' offense, and Mahomes quickly led 2 more touchdown drives, including a 5-yard touchdown pass to Damian Williams to give Kansas City the lead. In a stunning fourth quarter comeback, the Chiefs scored 21 unanswered points to win the game 31-20. Mahomes finished the game with 286 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. He was named the Super Bowl MVP, becoming the youngest quarterback in NFL history to win both the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP by the age of 24. The 2019 season solidified Mahomes as a generational talent. He had led the Chiefs to their first Super Bowl victory in 50 years and had done so in dramatic fashion, orchestrating comebacks throughout the playoffs. Mahomes had not only lived up to the hype but had exceeded it, cementing his status as one of the NFL's best quarterbacks. With the Super Bowl ring and MVP honors under his belt, Mahomes' legacy was already secure. But the football world knew this was only the beginning of his journey. Mahomes entered the 2020 season with the goal of building a dynasty. Fresh off being named Super Bowl MVP, he was not only the face of the franchise but also the NFL. In the offseason, the Chiefs had made their commitment to Mahomes clear, signing a record-breaking 10-year, $503 million contract extension, the largest in sports history at the time.
This is my guy. Wins an MVP, wins a Super Bowl, just inked the largest contract in NFL history. Hello to a fairy tale world.
With his future in Kansas City secured, Mahomes was focused on one thing: running it back and winning another Super Bowl. He quickly established a rhythm with his top weapons, including Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and a rookie running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Mahomes continued to display his remarkable consistency and ability to make big plays in critical moments. By the end of November, Mahomes is firmly in the conversation for the MVP award again, having thrown for 3,497 yards, 30 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. But one of the most anticipated games of the season came in Week 12, when the Chiefs faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a matchup that would foreshadow the eventual Super Bowl. In that game, Mahomes and Tyreek Hill torched the Buccaneers defense early on, with Hill racking up over 200 receiving yards in the first quarter alone. Mahomes finished the game with 462 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, leading the Chiefs to a 27-24 victory. The Chiefs finished the regular season with a 14-2 record, the best in the NFL, and Mahomes ended the season with 4,740 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. His impressive stats earned him a spot in the MVP conversation, though he would ultimately finish second behind Aaron Rodgers. In the divisional round, they faced the Cleveland Browns in a game that would prove to be one of the most challenging moments of Mahomes' career. In the third quarter, with the Chiefs leading 19-10, Mahomes suffered a concussion after being tackled. The injury forced him out of the game, and backup quarterback Chad Henne had to step in. Henne was able to hold off the Browns and secure a victory 22-17. Despite the concussion, Mahomes cleared the NFL's concussion protocol in time for the AFC Championship, where they face off with the Buffalo Bills. Mahomes showed no signs of rust, delivering another brilliant performance.
Let go and then get the ball to the flat. Quickly, somewhere across it.
Lobs it up in the air.
Throwing for 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, and leading Kansas City to a 38-24 victory, securing their second consecutive trip to the Super Bowl. Now the Chiefs are headed to Super Bowl 55, where they face Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was a showdown between the NFL's past and the present. Tom Brady, the most successful quarterback in NFL history, against Mahomes, the league's brightest young star. But what was expected to be a thrilling game quickly turned into a nightmare for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Despite his best efforts, Mahomes is constantly scrambling to evade defenders, and even his signature off-balance throws are not enough to overcome the pressure.
Look at that throw. Oh, it's dropped.
Mahomes had several incredible plays despite the circumstances, including a diving pass to the ground that was nearly caught in the end zone. However, the Chiefs' offense was unable to score a touchdown, and Mahomes finished the game with 270 yards, 2 interceptions, and no touchdowns. The Buccaneers won the game 31-9, giving Tom Brady his 7th Super Bowl title and leaving Mahomes a face of a rare defeat in a big game. Coming off the Super Bowl loss, Mahomes entered the 2021 season with one goal in mind: redemption. The Chiefs made significant offseason moves to bolster their offensive line, aiming to protect Mahomes better and give him the time he needed. There was high expectations during the 2021 season, but Mahomes and the Chiefs faced early challenges. They stumbled to a 3-4 start, leaving many to wonder if the league had finally caught up to them. Defenses began to deploy deep, too high safety looks to limit plays from Tyreek Hill, forcing Mahomes to take shorter throws. It was a shift in how teams defended him, and it required Mahomes to adjust his game to be more patient and efficient rather than relying solely on explosive plays. Despite the struggles, the Chiefs never lost their composure. As their defense began to improve, Mahomes showed willingness to adapt to what defenses were giving him. In the following weeks, the Chiefs began to climb out of their early season hole, and Mahomes delivered a signature performance in Week 10 against the Las Vegas Raiders. He threw for 406 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 41-14 blowout victory. It was a pivotal moment in the season as the Chiefs began to hit their stride, winning 8 of their final 9 regular season games to finish 12-5 and secure the AFC West title. In the wild card round, they faced the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Mahomes delivered one of the most dominant performances of his career. He finished the game with 404 passing yards and 5 touchdowns, leading the Chiefs to a 42-21 victory and sending them to the divisional round. In a rematch of the 2020 AFC Championship game, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen engaged in a quarterback duel for the ages. Both quarterbacks traded blows in a high-scoring, back-and-forth affair that saw several lead changes in the final minutes of regulation.
Fires it. It's a wide open. Down the middle. It's Hill. He might be gone. He is. Down the middle to the end zone. And there it is.
With just 13 seconds remaining on the clock, the Chiefs trailed 36-33. Mahomes orchestrated an incredible drive, completing 2 quick passes to get the Chiefs into field goal range. Harrison Butker's 49-yard field goal sent the game to overtime, and in overtime, Mahomes connected with Travis Kelce for the game-winning touchdown. It was a game that immediately entered NFL lore as one of the most thrilling postseason contests ever.
Never, ever in my life have I seen a better game, and to me, it's like, it's crazy. I know we're going to talk about the mistakes that were made, but this game was absolutely phenomenal by 2 generational talents at quarterback.
I mean, it's the best quarterbacking game I certainly have ever seen, and Josh Allen should not have to lose that game.
With the dramatic win over Buffalo, the Chiefs advanced to the AFC Championship game for the 4th consecutive season, where they faced the Cincinnati Bengals. Mahomes started the game on fire, leading the Chiefs to a 21-3 lead in the first half. But in an unexpected turn of events, the Chiefs' offense began to stall, and Mahomes struggled to maintain the momentum. The Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, mounted a comeback, and the game went into overtime. For the 2nd week in a row, Mahomes had the ball first with an opportunity to win the game. But he would throw an interception on the first possession, and the Bengals would capitalize, winning 27-24 and sending them to the Super Bowl. The loss is a bitter end to what had been a remarkable playoff run for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Another year ending in disappointment. Heading into the 2022 season, the Chiefs had traded their star wide receiver Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. Everyone was wondering how Mahomes would respond without his top receiver. But from week 1, Mahomes silenced any doubts, throwing for 360 yards and 5 touchdowns in a dominant win over the Arizona Cardinals. Throughout the season, Mahomes showcased his elite skills. He led the NFL in passing yards with 5,250 and touchdowns with 41, while setting the record for the most combined passing and rushing yards in a season. His consistency earned him his 2nd NFL MVP award, and the Chiefs secured the top spot in the AFC with a 14-3 record. In the playoffs, Mahomes battled through a high ankle sprain, first against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the divisional round. Despite the injury, he threw for 2 touchdowns and led the Chiefs to a 27-20 win. In the AFC Championship game, a rematch against the Bengals, Mahomes delivered a gritty performance, throwing for 326 yards and 2 touchdowns. In a late-game scramble, set up the game-winning field goal, sending the Chiefs to the Super Bowl again. Super Bowl 57 featured a matchup between the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, led by their own dynamic quarterback, Jalen Hurts. In another back-and-forth affair with the Eagles controlling much of the first half, Mahomes re-aggravated his ankle injury late in the second quarter, but after halftime, he returned with a determination that could not be denied. In the second half, Mahomes was unstoppable. Despite the pain, he orchestrated multiple scoring drives, making clutch throws and key runs. The game came down to the final minutes and the Chiefs trailing 35-33. Mahomes led the Chiefs on a methodical drive that ended in a game-winning field goal by Harrison Butker. Mahomes had done it once again. In one of the most dramatic Super Bowls in recent memory, he led the Chiefs to victory, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. At just 27 years old, Mahomes had already achieved more than most quarterbacks could ever dream of in a lifetime, and his dominance showed no signs of slowing down. Heading into the 2023 season, Mahomes and the Chiefs were looking to accomplish something that had not been done in over 2 decades. They were striving to become the first team since the New England Patriots to win back-to-back Super Bowls. While the season got off to a hot start, winning 7 of their first 9 games, this looked like a different Chiefs team than recent memory. Kansas City had turned into a defensive juggernaut. It was much needed as the depleted Chiefs offense left Mahomes frustrated in many situations. He was facing adversity from his own team's offensive penalties as well as receivers' inabilities to catch and hold the ball. A different situation from what he was accustomed to in previous seasons. Despite the struggles, Kansas City finished with an 11-6 record and a playoff berth. Starting with the Dolphins at home, the Chiefs defense made quick work of Miami and advanced the divisional round with a 26-7 victory. They traveled to Buffalo to face off with the Bills and Josh Allen once again. In another thrilling game as the NFL expects anytime these teams square off in the playoffs, Mahomes led the Chiefs on another late game rally to secure the victory 27-24 and advance to another AFC Championship game. In the AFC Championship, he faced off with the Baltimore Ravens led by the league's reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson. If you're enjoying this video, I have an entire video on Lamar Jackson's journey to the NFL. The link will be in the description. In a defensive battle, Mahomes would emerge on top once again, throwing for 241 yards and a touchdown in a 17-10 victory over the Ravens. Super Bowl 57 was a rematch between the Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers, who Mahomes had beaten for his first Super Bowl victory 4 years prior. While Mahomes and the Chiefs fell behind early, trailing 10-3 at halftime, they would come out firing in the second half. However, the 49ers would fight back and take the lead once again. Trailing by just 3 points with under 2 minutes left in the game, Mahomes would need to come up clutch once again. He managed to get Kansas City in field goal range with seconds remaining on the clock, setting up a game-tying field goal. In overtime, the 49ers received the ball first, but the Chiefs' defense was able to come up big and hold them to just a field goal. With the game on the line once again, number 15 would not disappoint. Mahomes would march Kansas City 75 yards down the field and score a touchdown to seal the victory. Mahomes won his 3rd Super Bowl and 3rd Super Bowl MVP with a 333-yard and 2-touchdown performance, officially solidifying Mahomes in elite company as one of the few players to win 3 Super Bowls. As the 2024 season unfolds, Mahomes has the opportunity to become the first quarterback and team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. While Tom Brady still has the NFL record 7 Super Bowls, this would put Mahomes well on pace to overtake him. Where do you think Mahomes ranks in terms of all-time quarterbacks? Let me know in the comments below.